Another question that came up, wanted to, and I think our supervisor sort of touched base on this, sort of crime before COVID, crime after COVID. What are the crime stats looking like right now?
Well, crime is down. A lot of crimes are down. Burglaries are down. Why are burglaries down? Because everyone's in their house, right? So, and burglars don't usually like to break in when people are home. So burglaries are down. So crime is down. There's still some violent crime that happens in the Bayview, and we address that. And that was happening before, and it's still happening now. And it does have to do with young people. So crime is down, but still there's other things that come up. The fraud things are up. People coming to your door saying, "Hi, we're from the health department, and we want to make sure." Those are all scams. The health department isn't coming to your house, right? The IRS isn't calling you on the phone. They're not calling you to get your social security number, to send you a stimulus check. None of that stuff is happening. And so people have to be alerted to the fraud, especially with our elder generation population, to make sure that they know that these things are frauds. The IRS doesn't call you on the phone. You know, these things don't happen. So the next one's going to be the stimulus, because there are sending out checks. But most of them are going to be direct deposits. So there's nothing you're going to do. And they're taking it from the information that you've already submitted from prior years. So they're not calling you. They're not coming knocking on your door. So that's hugely important that people understand. So those type of crimes are going to be on the increase. And you know, the traffic is going to be low because, you know, I don't want people to be speeding, but you know, people need to be on their best behavior when it comes to traffic, okay? Because we don't have the personnel to put in that close contact as we should, right? Because we try to protect our personnel, but we don't want people to get hurt. We don't remember that we still have a high pedestrian and traffic accident collision that cause injury. So people need to really be on their best behavior when they're driving. And I'm counting on you guys to do that.
That is, yeah, no, there's just, I keep saying this, but there is so much here that you're sort of holding on behalf of all of us. Another question that sort of comes to mind that was asked, actually, before that, I actually wanted you, when we were talking, even before this, you mentioned today that there is an academy graduation. And it was unlike any other. Can you sort of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, before this started, so today is the graduation of our police academy. And normally it's a big celebration. They go to an auditorium, their family and friends are there, but not today. It's held outside and at the police academy. They have to sit 6 feet apart. There's no speakers, it's just the chief and the sheriff and the academy staff. Their families can't be present. So they broadcast it on Twitter Live, so that at least the families could see their family members graduate and receive their stars from the chief of police. And we'll have a celebration when we get to the other side of this, but that's totally different. I mean, whoever thought we would end up doing that? And we even had to postpone an academy class because of the COVID outbreak, because you can't be in close quarters. That's the order. We have to follow the order as much as anybody else. When we have lineups, they're either in a big community room or out in a public area, because the other space we had was not big enough to keep people 6 feet apart. So it's a lot. It's a changing of the whole world for everyone. So we're trying to be good models of that as well, and we hope that everyone else does as well.
Someone asked, are you still hiring at the SFPD?
We are still hiring, and now is a great time to get hired, right? Right now, though, all our personnel has been related to the health crisis at this point. So please put in an application. All that stuff is still going to go through, but all officers are all hands on deck during the pandemic. A lot of other services that we did in the admin area, they've all been shut down and everyone is out because we have to use everyone. And we're doing this system of preserving our workforce. So if we do get a large group to get sick, we're able to move other officers into other areas. These are things that we have to think about, you know, because if people get sick at Bayview Station and half the officers are gone, what do we do? Mm-hmm. So that's why they're thinking of alternative staffing plans and things like that to make sure that if something like that is to happen, Bayview doesn't go without any policing or any other district station. So there are plans in place. So they're using the admin staff. Remember, we have officers in all types of functions. So it's good for them to understand it's important to drop what you're doing. And when it comes to public safety, that's what we're here for, not all that paperwork.
So another question sort of comes up because, this is sort of talking about what we all can do. We might be going through this for another, couple weeks, several weeks, don't know. That's far above my pay grade, but,
It'll be a short amount of time.
But can you talk about any mental health services that are like available or like just stress relief? Because people love their families. Sometimes just being in close quarters for this extended period of time is just far too much to those who actually really might need sort of mental health services. Just can you speak to sort of that broad spectrum of what people can sort of do around sort of stress and managing stress?
I know the city is working on different areas you can go to and get mental health services. I am not a mental health professional. I try to play one on TV, but I'm not a mental health professional. I am a peer support person for the police department internally. And here's some of the things that I tell the officers. We will get through this, that's number one, because we always do, right? And it's how we deal with every day. So we have to think of trying to find some good in every day, do something, watch something. You cannot watch the news 24/7. It will drive you crazy from points of views and what's true and not true. Try to get as much correct information as you can by going to some of the official websites, CDC, the WHO, and figure out what the latest information is. Get that information and leave there. And then watch something mindless if you're gonna watch TV. Play a game with your kids. Monopoly, that lasts for hours. That'll take up some time. Just do something different, maybe you're gonna, everybody's cooking. If you look at the Instagram, everyone's putting on what they cook. That's always a good relief. Just do something and talk about something different, but understand, number one, we're gonna get to the other side of this, right?
You can always play with your dogs or your cats or your pets, and of course,
Yeah.
your kids.
Yeah.
Just have fun doing it.
Yeah, and just just think that it's hard, because I know every one of us is going to get stressed about this at any one point, but hopefully we can rely on the other person that's going to help us pull it through for that moment. So that's what being a peer is. But I know there are great services that are set up in the city for people that want them.
I know that DPW will be deploying sort of temporary toilets. Do you know anything about that, or?
I haven't heard about that. I know they're supposed to be doing a lot in the Tenderloin. In the Bayview, I know we only have the one out at Mindale Plaza, but I heard in the Tenderloin they're supposed to be doing a lot more during the pandemic.
Okay, great. All you folks out there, let me know if there are any other questions. I think one of the other ones that sort of came up was the ship that's berthed here. Why is it berthed here and not down at Pier 27? That's a little.
Everybody asks about this ship. It's a beautiful cruise ship to have off when you look at it, from the side, but I don't know where the cruise ship is supposed to go. I'd rather it be out there in the middle of the water where we can see it than it be docked, alongside, one of the piers. People that work on cruise ships, they live there. That's where they live for the 6 or 7 months while they're working. So the ship isn't selling any passengers. So, to burn fuel just to go somewhere, and that ship was a ship, I do know this, that ship was a ship that was coming in and out of San Francisco. So if those trips aren't going, when they do start up going again, well, at least it's in the proximity to where it's supposed to be. But I think all the cruise ships are shut down for 30 or 60 days. I'm not exactly sure. But I don't think I'm not a professional in that, but I don't think there's any safety concerns or issues with the ship being out there. And since it's not full of passengers, it can't be producing much, garbage and stuff as it would if it had 3,000 people on there.
But that's still primarily a Coast Guard issue and not necessarily an SFPD.
Oh no, it's definitely not an SFPD issue. And I don't know where the legal waters is. I know we do have, SFPD does patrol the waters, but I don't know how far out we go. But I know we do patrol the waters, and when that ship was in the water, we were patrolling that area. Mm-hmm. We have 3 boats that's in the water.
Another question that sort of came up was around shopping. So Do you know which stores have sort of senior shopping hours, or are the police sort of being brought in to sort of help enforce that, even in a friendly way, to ensure that some of our more vulnerable folks have their allotted time to actually do their shopping?
In the Bayview, there's a few stores, and there hasn't been any problems here. We have officers check in with those managers every day to see if they're having any particular issues. A lot of them have did the first hour, hour and a half as for people with for the seniors and also people with disabilities. They can go in and shop, and they limit the numbers. I know even next door to us at the food co, they're now limiting the amount of people that can go in at any one time, just in general operation. So I know a lot of stores are now doing that. I know they're doing that as well at Grocery Outlet over there behind San Bruno. So a lot of stores are doing that. We're not having that great success with the corner stores though. So, you know, help us out with that. If you go to those corner stores, make sure you just kind of like make sure you maintain your social distancing.
Yeah.
The bigger stores seem to have no issues.
Okay, that's good to know. And then when there was another question that sort of came up, pardon me, everyone. I did want to touch base on the businesses, right? So there are these new rules that sort of have come out. Will you folks be part of sort of helping to enforce those new rules that businesses have to sort of put in place? And a great example is, I know going into stores, some of them have those 6 foot apart sort of pieces of tape on the ground at like a checkout and things like that. Are you going to be brought in to sort of help enforce those, even if it's in a friendly way?
It's just more of an education. This is what you should do. And the new list that they put out includes a lot of that stuff. It tells you what they should do, when they should have hand sanitizer, wipes, or something for people to be able to clean up with. But we're just kind of eyes and ears for the city attorney. They're the ones that are going to kind of put the hammer on it. They came out with a new thing about smoke shops, and I'm not talking about marijuana dispensaries. I'm talking about these stores that sell the paraphernalia to smoke, but they'll have some chips and soda and water, and so they think they're essential. So they just cracked down and said, nope, that's not essential. They have to close. So after we're done here, and I know we have one in the Bayview that I need to go check on and make sure that they know what the new rule is. And they're going to be resistant, and understand that they're resistant because people need to make money. So, and they still got to pay their rent. So it's not our role. If they don't comply, all we're going to do is write a report and send it to the city attorney.
Okay. And the city attorney will be the ones who
give them a contact, and yeah.
Great.
We warned them before the mayor changed the hours. They had us go out and warn all the stores, hey, this is coming, so start preparing. And then the order came out, and they were really right on the spot change.
Understood. Wanted to just sort of touch base. Is there anything else that you'd like to sort of share with folks around what we should or should not be doing like right now, or how we can help out SFPD and sort of keep ourselves safe?
Well, I mean, it's helping all of us out, not just the SFPD. I think it's important, again, staying at home, limiting your movement is hugely important for public safety. That's the #1 thing right now is our public safety. If you know friends, family, try to get them to stay at home. Talk on the phone, you know, check up in on your elders in your neighborhood. I know we all have, you know, elders that are parents and stuff like that. We even have to limit that movement because we don't want to infect them in any way. So as much as we can help telling each other what we need to do to get past this, this is what we need to do. That would be most helpful for everyone in the city and worldwide.
Great, thank you so much. And I know that, Dan, thanks for the public toilets. I'll be sending that out via our newsletter. Folks, go to Twitter, OneBayview SF, our Facebook page, facebook.com/OneBayview. Captain Dangerfield would love for you to sort of share, is there a hashtag or a URL that we should be taking a look at to sort of get updates?
I know the CDC website is a great update for good information. Also, the San Francisco website, sf.gov, has tons of information that should pop up once you go there about COVID-19 and all the rules. It's hugely important that we're all in this together, and we're all going to get through this together if we all follow the rules. And I know it's hard. And when talking to some of my brothers and sisters in the Bayview, you guys want to be out. It's a nice sunny day, you know. Hopefully it rains and pours this weekend, so everyone stays inside, you know, because it's important. It's for our own safety.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for sort of being part of this. It's really important to me. You will be getting a survey because we're trying to figure out what the next few ones are going to be. We are sort of seeing if we can highlight the faith community because there's a lot of amazing things sort of going on there. And we're talking about all different types of faiths that are sort of represented throughout District 10. In addition, we're taking a look at the small business and the sort of business programs, both nationally, California-wide and locally. And of course, we want to do one on the medical and sort of any of the sort of advances that have sort of been had or any other things that we need to be made aware of. So we'll be sending something out to everyone because we're trying to sort of organize this all. Oh, and lastly, one other thing that we're sort of taking a look at, schooling, right? Like I was on the phone with some folks who were full-time staying home, and I have to learn how to teach my kid. This is insane, right? In addition, schools provide 2 to 3 meals a day for for a lot of kids, right? That changes the dynamics at home, and sort of what does that sort of look like? So we're sort of trying to sort of piecemeal all of that, but in order to do that most effectively, we'd like to sort of have your feedback. So be prepared to take a look at that. We really do appreciate you. And I want to send a special thanks to you, Captain Dangerfield. Really appreciate you today.
My pleasure. No problem. Thanks for having me, Anietie.
Absolutely. And everyone in Bayview, let's keep ourselves safe.